Hello, and welcome to Mannequin Lane. We have the Ricky Gervais Show, Season 2, Episode 5, Insects. That is today's episode, which is interesting because every time Carl talks about insects, oh man, it's a whole thing. Why do we need them? Why don't we just get rid of them? Anyway, I think I've seen enough Carl Pilkington content to say I love this guy. I love him, dude. He is amazing. He is so naturally just funny and so entertaining, and I'm so thankful to Ricky for bringing Carl upon the world in the way he did. It's just so good, and just such an uplifter of moods. Anyway, let's see what this episode has, because again, every time they talk about insects, I imagine some things kind of sort of maybe repeated, because this, for some reason, this topic comes up a lot, and also I absolutely hate insects, so I'm not exactly thrilled about what topics can come up. I have like a lot of weird little phobias with insects and just anything, but whatever. It's all animated, so I'll be good. If I don't have to see real ones, I'm fine, I think. So let's find out. Anyway.
We've been away filming in a sweltering London. We've had a heat wave here in the capital city, haven't we, Carl?
It's been hot, hasn't it?
Been up to 100 degrees, record-breaking temperatures.
Yeah.
There he is again with the freaking Fahrenheit, because last time in The Idiot Abroad, he said, like, it was, I don't know, -2, and it was Celsius, and then he went, like, yeah, but now it's 60 Fahrenheit, and, like, why? And everybody's like, well, the comments were torn, because half the people were like, I don't know why he did that, that's really odd, we just use Celsius here. And the other half were like, oh, yeah, we do that to exaggerate temperatures. When it's hot, we say it in Fahrenheit, so it sounds like more. And then when it's cold, we say it in Celsius, so it sounds like less. It's just really stupid. So I don't know what 100 degrees is, but I'm guessing it's about 30, 35. So it's hot, I'm guessing.
What have you been doing, though?
Getting to see the place, having loads of walks. And that, I like to have walks. You know, watching what
like
people
a dog.
are doing.
Yeah, when he jumps off the couch and starts scratching against the door.
Siobhán thinks it's time.
It's just good thinking time, though, isn't it? As well, having a walk. You've got no other clutter going on around you. And you just think about a lot of stuff.
True.
And, you know, like say, with the weather being hot and stuff, a lot of insects knocking about.
Right.
So I've just been watching them.
So while we've been filming, you've been watching insects?
Yeah, just seeing, because everybody knows insects are out there, but no one's keeping an eye on them.
Oh.
What are they up to? What are you worried about?
Loads of Steve, you won't be laughing like that if you'd watch them, because they do some weird stuff, and that is what I mean.
What sort of stuff? Any examples?
Right.
I saw a bee have a heart attack.
You saw a bee have a heart attack.
Yeah.
How were you sure it was a heart attack?
Because what happened? I'd been.
Did it clutch its chest with all 6 legs?
No,
Were there some other little bee paramedics?
No. I'd just been out in the park anyway, just looking at caterpillars knocking about, butterflies and stuff. So I was sort of aware.
So when Suzanne goes to work, she goes, Carl, don't you waste the day. I want you to do some constructive stuff.
But the thing is, so I'd been in the park and I was aware of the insects that are around us more than like most of the time. And I come out of the park, just crossing like sort of a busy road and what have you, and I saw this bee to the right of me, sort of in the air, and it was a big one, and I was a bit like, oh, let's watch that. And it just fell. It fell from the air in front of me, and it was on the pavement. I thought, oh, what's going on here? And I looked at it for a bit, and it was really still. Gave it a little kick, just to see if there was any movement. Nothing.
Probably
Stone,
squashed
sort of,
it.
what's the saying? Stone cold dead.
Yeah, stone cold bee dead.
So
yeah,
that
I like
was,
the fact that this bee suddenly saw Carl and had a heart attack. Yeah,
I
he'd
knew
never
it.
seen anything that round before.
Yeah.
It just thought it had approached him because he thought it was a sunflower.
My God, it's a giant walking orange. Every dream has come true.
no, but it just
I knew
summed
they were
up
going
life
there.
for me. I thought that's like us, isn't it? At the end of the day, they have heart attacks, stress.
You put it down to stress, do you?
Well, it's in London, isn't it? You know, everything has stresses from living here.
And they are bald, aren't they? They've got fur all over, but they lose the...
And always overweight.
It was a fat, bald bee. Oh.
So what did you... It fell to the floor and you instantly... You just kicked it. You didn't attempt to
No, I waited
revive
a second and just looked at it to see if there was any...
Attempt to revive it. Like, that's not something worth making fun of. Like, oh yeah, I tried to do CPR or give it mouth to mouth. I mean, come on. They're so one-sided. That was... I get his point, but that was ridiculous.
leg movement or
the way
wing.
it was worded.
And I waited a second and just looked at it to see if there was any, leg movement or wing. And there was nothing. And then when I sort of kicked it, it was sort of hard. It had hardened already. It's just...
Rigor mortis
had set in.
Did it put you in a bad mood for the day? Because I know things like that can just send you over the edge for the day.
Death and that does a bit. Suzanne doesn't like me talking about death.
What riveting conversations do you come up with?
No, just things like one of our mates has had a baby recently, and I just was saying, oh, when that's sort of our age, we'll nearly be dead.
Think of that.
That's the first thing he says is a new life brought into the world.
I know.
But when he's our age, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
No, it's
Maybe
weird.
they'll let you do the speech at the christening.
Well, yeah, I've been watching loads of stuff. I've been watching ants. You mentioned ants. I've had a lot of moths in the house. They're sort of sad.
I mean, you say it like it was a garden.
Dude. There was a Bob Mortimer. I think it was a This Is My on Where I Lie to You, and Bob Mortimer was taking part. And Bob Mortimer's story was that he knew the guy because he had like a moth problem. And I went on this whole thing, like moths aren't really a problem in Argentina, and I never really knew anybody that had a moth problem, whatever. And like just not an issue here. But, and people were like explaining to me in the comments, yeah, no, it can be a very serious issue. And it is one of those things where if you have that issue, it's really hard to get rid of them and blah, blah, blah. And yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I can't remember. Like, days kind of just mixed together lately. But let's say yesterday for the story's sake. Around 4 or 5 a.m., I'm currently living in a house with a buttload of cats. There's 6 cats in this house. Don't ask why, but there's just 6 cats in this house. And at 4 a.m., and it makes that makes it really hard to sleep because they're constantly like meowing or fighting, or there's always something going on. There's always a cat, making some kind of scandal or noise or whatever. And around 4 a.m., I hear like this really loud crashing noise. I'm like, oh my God, what's that? I got up and I went to check. Went to check and make sure everybody's okay and stuff. Nothing like broke or whatever. And I was informed that it was one of the cats that was trying to get onto this very high furniture bookshelf thing and didn't make it. And he kind of like knocked off a bunch of things that were on top of it and whatever. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And then the next day I was talking to my brother and he's like, okay, let me explain something to you. And I thought it was the cutest way to say it ever. It was funny. He's like, I have had a deal with God since forever. That his deal with God is that every night he opens the window before he goes to sleep. Every night, one moth goes into his room. Just one. Just that's his deal, and could never get rid of it. And it's always one. Occasionally, if God's feeling feisty or frisky or whatever, he'll send 2, but it doesn't really happen. I thought that was adorable. And he's like, I don't know what happened. Oh, because I'm the worst storyteller ever. Well, before that, we got to this conversation. Before that, I went to the bathroom. There was this giant, like, prehistoric sized moth in the bathroom. And I've learned through my life to not kill insects. I hate them, do not like them, do not want them touching me, do not want them near me. I will freak out. But I do not kill them, and I help them, and I escort them outside of the house, apartment, or whatever. And so there was a really, 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 really big one, and I was trying to help him out. And I did. I was successful. I was like, my brother came out. What are you doing? I was like, I'm helping him out. And he started laughing. And he's like, okay, you know what? And then he told me his deal with God's story. And he told me that last night he doesn't know. We don't know. We were talking about it. We were conversing about it. We don't know if God was going to go on vacation and he wanted to like preempt a little, or if, he messed up some paperwork or what happened. But last night when my brother opened the window, he sent 9 moths. All at the same time. And those freaking big ones, like huge, right? So my brother was making like a whole bunch of commotion trying to get the cats to assist him in killing them because he couldn't get him out of the room. All right, fine. But I was like, no, don't kill him. I was like, no, dude, screw that. There's 9 huge moths. And it was a whole thing. And then I later found out that the cat that woke me up at 4 a.m. was because he was trying to catch a moth that was on the roof because since my brother couldn't get him out of his room, he's like, screw it, I'm going to send him to the living room. So he turned off all the lights in his room, opened the door, started turning on all the fans, trying to fan it out, turn on the lights in the living room, he tried to like usher them into the living room, and a couple went and made the cats crazy. Anyway, in about like 3 minutes, I got all the moths out, dude. It was mega easy. You just open the windows. I do not like them. I do not want to touch them. I grabbed a piece of paper and I went and touched each moth butt, and it like immediately flew out. And I don't remember why I'm telling this story. So.
Party.
I've been watching loads of stuff. I've been watching ants. You mentioned ants. I've had a lot of moths in the house.
Oh, in the house.
They're sort of sad.
I mean, you say it like it was a garden party.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, but
yes,
all I'm saying is I look
his
at
room.
more about what its life is like. Because if you watch something long enough, is what I'm saying, you can see that it's a bit clueless. It's the same way about ants. Or, you know, they're hard workers and all that. I watch one. It's going back and forth all the time. They go one way and then they stop and go the other way. They try to look busy in front of the mates. But if you watch one... If you watch one long enough, it's back and forwards, and it's like it's done nothing there.
I'm going to carry this twig back and forth until I can knock off at 4.
There's a lot of that going on.
Is there?
Right.
Because there's none of that going on.
There is. No, like I say, the moth, depressing little sort of thing.
Why is it depressing?
It hasn't got eyes, has it? You just look at it, it doesn't know what's going on. I just don't.
What do you mean it
I think if you
doesn't
haven't
have
got
eyes?
eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
Wait. You know something's funny if you're doing that like seal clap kind of thing. They do too have eyes. Do they not? I think they do. It's easy to disagree with Carl, but I'm pretty sure I saw 9 of them yesterday, so I'm pretty sure I saw eyes.
That's a rule. If we could put that into practice, please.
That's a great rule. That's a fantastic rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't got eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
Wait, but they didn't correct him. Excuse me, Googling. Do moths have eyes? Because I refuse to believe that. Do moths have eyes? So, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. It tells me that they have like the eye spots, like decoration on their wings to look bigger for predators, but that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, how many eyes does the moth have? 2 eyes. They have eyes. What? How is that not the part what they're laughing at? They're talking about the part where if something doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have wings, it shouldn't get wings. That's fine. That's funny. But how do they not, like, they're so quick to make fun of him. That was a golden opportunity.
I just was reading something about. About an octopus. That's like a killer octopus. And it annoyed me that this was knocking about now. Because I didn't know, I thought they were quite friendly. Whenever you see them in cartoons and that, they're always happy, aren't they? And then suddenly, like, they've sort of brought the whole sort of creature down. Do you know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Well, just you know, when you see them in film.
No, what do you mean?
Whole
I love
sort
it.
of creature down. Do you know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Well, just you know, when you see them in films, they're running about and that, and everybody likes an octopus. But this one that's on it was your fault, really, because you told me about that frog that's going about killing people.
No, I didn't say that.
So I looked it up on the internet at
No, I
like
didn't
other
say that.
creatures and stuff.
.com.
And there's some octopus that's in the sea, and what it does, you don't even have to like threaten it. It just spits in the water, and if that stuff gets on you, does you in.
Again,
So in a way, it's good knowledge because, I mean, I don't go in the sea anyway because it's full of stuff like that. But that's just reassured me that I'm doing the right thing. If they're knocking about, just gozzing everywhere, you don't even have to be near one. You don't even know if it's been spitting and stuff. It can kill you. It just seems unfair. I haven't harmed it. I haven't gone near it. Why is it getting annoyed with me? Doesn't seem right. So that's where a knowledge has not helped that octopus out. Because now, when you eat them, I just think, yeah, have another one. Do you know what I mean? You
His
eat
little
them,
angry face
I just
is
has
so
not
cute.
helped that octopus out. Because now, when you eat them, I just think, yeah, have another one. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of them.
The little animation is just so good.
another conversation with himself. Another conversation with himself.
There you go.
Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an animal at you. Tell me how weird it is, what bits annoy you, how you change it, okay? A crab.
Walking sideways.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird, but they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would I change anything? In a way, you know, what you're saying about things not working, he can't walk forwards. So
But-
why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, do you know what, these arms are too clumsy? We need to have them so they can slot away easier and we can pull them out when we need them instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah.
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A
Dude.
dog.
Dude. Like, I never can remember the plural for this, but the octopus is very weird. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. I can't remember the stuff it has, but it has like 3 hearts, and I think they're all in its head, and it's just like, it's a mess. It's a mess, dude. Crazy, crazy thing. Like, if there's something on Earth that we know of that is, you know, like if somebody says, okay, there's one thing, there's one species, there's one creature on Earth that isn't from Earth, it's an alien. What do you think it is? A freaking octopus, man! Those things are hella weird, dude. I could totally believe one of those things are alien. They're really crazy, and they're not like other things. So, I mean, come on. You gotta give him that. They're mega weird. And, like, compare it to a dog, I mean, no.
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes.
No, it has dog eyes.
if a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about him that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes. They're floating about. I can handle some fish. They look like if they've got eyes, you can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes. Do you know what I mean? They say, don't trust him. Why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any, and I don't trust them.
Octopuses have eyes. I don't know why he went to jellyfish when the question was more of the octopus, but okay.
In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet.
Yeah.
And you go, right, go on then. And you go, this is man, here's woman, here's a dog, here's a cat, here's an octopus, I go, hang on a minute, what is this?
Exactly. That's basically what I said. That was weird. Very weird. Steven laugh. It sounded very fake.
Say if everything was at the same size as us, what would be the best thing to be? Say like a
Wait,
tarantula
what?
Yeah.
No.
and a tiger. What would happen there?
A 15-stone tiger versus a 15-stone tarantula.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine the 15-stone tarantula.
Speaking of, okay, he said humans like eat it as if humans were all the same size. Dude, I went to the eye doctor today. The guy was ginormous. He was like maybe even freaking Greg Davies tall. Not like the shoulders. He was very skinny, a lot leaner than Greg, but he was like. But he was huge, dude. And we all know that I am not, even though I have tall energy. And sometimes when I say how tall I am, people are shocked, which is nice. I'm not tall. It's just the energy. But like it's not the same a tarantula my size. It's still freaking horrible, but my size. Also, I'm pretty sure a tiger, like standing up, would be way bigger than me. Or a tarantula like Greg Davies size. Davis. I always get that wrong. That's a big tarantula. Like, no. That is like straight up the one in Harry Potter Harry Potter that I can't remember his Aragog. I can't remember. I'm all over the place today. Clearly, because I said Harry Potter. Whoops.
Right, so it's just weird that, innit? It's a good job that they're small. Yet things are getting bigger because we're messing with the world.
But it's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? Because what would it eat? 15 stone. The biggest you'll find is like a foot-long beetle or something weird like
Big
that.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's about as big as they get.
He's
So I
gonna
wouldn't
kill
worry
that.
about it.
Again, based on nothing, he queries
It's
you.
not-
But it's
That
like
restriction.
fish, innit? How they say about a goldfish.
Yeah.
Little.
That thing about a woman who went on holiday and stuck it in a bath. She came back, it was 7 foot.
Right, that didn't happen.
No, that's a well-known thing about
No, it's not a
goldfish.
well-known
When's
thing.
the what?
I'll tell you why.
I was scared he was going to say well-known fact. that was good thing he said thing.
Right, that didn't happen.
No, that
No,
did
that's
not.
a well-known thing about
No, it's not a
goldfish.
well-known
When's the
thing.
what?
I'll tell you why. Because a fish will only grow to its surroundings anyway. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you have
Just-
to put it in a bigger tank.
Yeah, in a bath.
No, a 7-foot fish in a bath. It just fit the bath exactly, did it?
When she got back off holiday,
Don't talk shit.
It's a
What was it
well-known-
eating? What was it eating?
How long was she gone for? 2 million years?
Yeah, she went to Mars and back.
Ted, you're not going to believe this. Come up here.
well, how many fish do you see that have naturally died? It's always been caught by a man or a shark's at it. You don't just see dead fish washed up, do you?
Well, most things that don't die of old age.
Yeah, that's weird though, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's a jungle out there.
No, worse than the sea. The sea is like full of... you've got an enemy round every rock.
I love it. I love it. It's like a warning to crabs
Exactly.
and young squid. It's like the policeman
That
that
looks
comes into
very-
your school.
That looks very SpongeBob.
Squid. It's like the policeman that comes into your school.
Yeah. Carl, have you ever seen the programme Inside the Actors Studio?
No.
He asked that in a very, like, ASMR voice.
James, have you ever seen the Carl, have you ever seen the programme Inside the Actors Studio?
No.
James Lipton interviews famous actors and gets words of advice about how they work and how they act. But at the end, he always asks a series of questions, which is based on a French series of questions that a guy called Bernard Pivot used to give people when he interviewed them. So I'm going to ask you some of these questions. Just interesting to see what your response is, and answer them quickly. You don't have to think about them too much.
Easy.
What is your favourite curse word?
I don't think I've got one. Knobhead. That's some.
Why is it so echoey? Like, they made it mystical? Or in his head? What? That weird.
Got one. Knobhead.
Why'd
That
they
sums
add
everything
reverb?
up, and I think it's.
But you wouldn't call your nan a knobhead, would you? What would you call a nan?
Well, knobhead's all right, isn't it? Because she sort of gets it. It's one of them things that everybody understands, but it's not too offensive.
Right.
What a knobhead.
What would you do, though, if you were swimming, right? It was a nice little thing, you're on holiday, right? And there's this octopus there, and you go...
God. These little callbacks are amazing. Like the one time when he said, why do they use human limbs or whatever, not just like a sausage? And there was the nurse trying to eat the sausage and the doctor didn't let him, and like the swingers from a different episode walked by, and then...
No, if you were swimming, right, it was a nice little thing, you're on holiday, right? And there's this octopus there, and you're going around, right? And you just see it start spitting at you, poison. What would you say to it?
Well, it's too late then, isn't it? And I'd kick it. And I'd say, knobhead. I would, but what's the point? What's the point in getting annoyed now? Because it's done its stuff, hasn't it?
I don't know why you'd kick it and call it a knobhead under the water. What is this octopus thinking? Oh, God. Oh, okay, you fucking eight-legged shit.
I'm not bothered. I don't know what you're saying.
Fucking cunt of a mollusk.
I just spit at you again. It's not bothered.
You slimy little fucking boneless wanker.
This is why the face
Are you
is
still
good.
talking to the octopus?
Good question.
Oh, I don't believe it.
I like how he didn't answer.
Oh, I don't believe it. He's only going to write it down.
Sure.
That jingle, of course, signifies another reading from Carl Pilkington's diary. We went to the park and had a brew. Suzanne read the paper while I played with a ladybird. I mean, it's like a child, isn't it? It's like what a child would do.
Suzanne read the paper while I played with the ladybird. His
wrong
only
with
friend
that.
is a beetle.
It climbed up my arm. It struggled on me hairs.
This is in detail, then.
Yeah. It kept stopping every now and then and was rubbing its head with its right arm. It did it about 4 times and always used its right arm. It rested for about 5 minutes, then flew off. Sunday. Had a bit of a to-do with Suzanne because she wanted a lion today. I ate this. Once you're awake, you should get up. I got up and put the radio on really loud. She eventually got up. I told her insects don't have lions, so we shouldn't.
Why are you obsessed
I
with
mean,
insects?
you must be fucking unbearable to live with. You must be a nightmare.
No, I've just started, because I've watched insects a lot. I don't want to keep going on about them because we're a bit insect heavy. But at the end of the day, if we copied insects, we wouldn't go far wrong.
I don't know what you mean, though. 1 minute you're saying they're great, then the next minute you'll slag them off.
Yeah, I'll slag some of them off if I don't know what they're doing, but because I've studied them a bit longer, I just think they do it
You
right.
haven't studied them, though.
He thinks he's like Darwin.
But you just slagged them off when you go, don't you think people that insects are doing stuff? They're not. It
Yeah,
goes there,
ants.
then it goes back
The
again.
ant was messing about, but only that one. The others were carrying stuff. That's what I'm saying. These snidey ones in everything, everything in the world, you get a hierarchy.
Oh, long words!
Ooh. Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for a £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird how stuff's being found on eBay.
No, it wasn't found on eBay, though, was it?
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head. Loves it. right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules, isn't it? It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Yeah, but you learn.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow.
Woke up to some interesting news. It's good when this happens because it sets me up for the day ahead. If it's miserable news, it affects my day. It said on the news that they have found 2 new flies.
Fucking hell, more insects! What have you done? Is that what you've done this summer?
Bong.
Oh my god. I love it. No way. Too good. And that's funny though too, because almost every episode is called something and they just like barely talk about it. But this is got insect heavy indeed.
More insects! What have you done? Is that what you've done this summer?
Bong. Trouble in the Middle East. Bong. 2 new flies found.
Ladybird climbs up arm.
They were found in the UK and they were found close to each other. Maybe this happened because they were different than the other flies and weren't expected to hang about together, so that's why they knocked about with each other.
That would happen, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
It's 2 new flies.
What do you mean? Does it mean there are 2 new flies that are a different species?
Yeah, 2 new species, and they found them close to each other, right?
Yeah,
and
but they didn't mean there was one of each.
No. Yeah, they did. They found 2 different ones.
No.
No, they have. Seriously, I know that. That's right. That's a fact. So you've got like, I don't know the names of them. They give them odd names, don't they? Well, say
Yeah.
call it A and Fly B, right?
Yeah.
Jerry and Fred.
Fly A, I don't know.
Jerry.
Say that's orange.
This is just...
B.
Fly B, yeah.
No,
This is
but,
painful.
No, but
This
I'm
is
just making it
painful.
easier
But
for
Fly
you.
B wears a little hat. He's got a little hat.
All right, yeah, fine. Now, they found the orange one. I went, look at this over here. This is a bit weird. And they've gone, oh, that's a new species. Log it, whatever.
Jerry.
And then the other one went, oh, keep your pen handy. Look at this one, it's got hat on. So then they found them both within the same distance.
I don't know what that sentence
Keep
means.
going.
They
No,
found
let him
them
try and
both.
finish.
They found them both within the same distance.
But without interrupting him,
what?
let him finish this point.
Let me just make one thing clear. Carl Pilkins just said they found them both within the same distance. Think of that!
Don't know what it means, but go on, let him finish this point.
So what I mean is, they weren't knocking about with other normal houseflies because they were probably sort of going, oh, he's a bit weird. Leave it. Yet, because the other one was also odd, they're hanging about with each other. Don't you understand that? Why is that such an odd concept?
Because you think of it as like 2 little new kids in school.
Yeah.
They
Right.
find out they're both new and they've got something in
Yeah,
common.
they're both goths, so they start hanging out together.
Yeah.
And this was on the news, was it?
Yeah, just on the radio, yeah.
I know if I looked into that story, it would be 90% wrong.
Bit tired today because didn't get to sleep as early as I'd wanted due to a moth getting in the bedroom.
Fuck me.
I got it in a glass and looked at it for a bit, getting in the bedroom.
Fuck me.
I got it in a glass and looked at it for a bit and then let it go because Suzanne wanted to go to sleep. Looked up some interesting news. Some people dug up an old body in Ireland. Turns out it's well old and was here when dinosaurs were here. The really weird bit is it had hair gel in its hair.
Right, what is it?
Fella,
Well, no, it wasn't around when dinosaurs were here then.
just a bit after.
Right, fine. A lot after, yeah, go on.
It's not the age bit, that's amazing. It's the fact of,
The hair
there's a
gel.
fella, won't have even had shoes on his feet,
Right.
and yet he was worried about his hairstyle.
Right, well, that's definitely not true either.
There was a man on the radio doing poetry, says Carl in
Hey.
his diary.
A. I always bring it back because it's always relevant. You do not know. You can never know if this wasn't another Mary situation. I think the movie's crazy about Mary. You never know. I mean, that was natural hair gel. God. You never know. Just we'll leave it there.
I thought I'd have a go at doing a poem about today.
Not really. Steve, I'm a little bit queasy. He hasn't really written a poem.
He's written a small poem.
No, he hasn't really.
Yes. If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
It wouldn't interrupt...
Dude. Oh, holy hell. Oh, my stomach hurts from laughing. Wow. I also do not understand where this information that they don't have eyes came from. Oh my god. Okay. Jesus.
If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
It wouldn't interrupt T.S. Eliot.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
Right. It may be the greatest poem ever written.
Is there a creative decision for that?
Can we have Carl read that?
By all
Sorry,
means, yeah.
just you read it as you would like to. So this is, imagine this, right? Okay, this is going out all over the world. And now, Carl Pilkington, a new poet from Manchester, now living in London, England, would like to read a poem.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
The end doesn't even rhyme.
He said it as though the last bit was going to rhyme. He said it like it was going to rhyme. Oh, God.
No,
I
It's
think,
amazing.
I think,
It's amazing.
I think he feels as though the final line, I'd rather be a blind moth, is going to be one of those great, a summation that somehow the moth is a metaphor, the caveman.
No, but
there's
all
no
I'm doing-
metaphor in that. He really does mean he'd rather be a blind moth.
Yeah, well, I'm just because I've looked at the day's news.
Are you getting into poetry now, properly?
I really like it, yeah. Right, I did 2 about jellyfish.
Excellent.
I don't like jellyfish. They're not a fish, they're just a blob. They don't have eyes, fins or scales like a cod. They float about blind, stinging people in the seas. And no one eats jellyfish with chips and mushy peas. Get rid of them.
Get rid of him.
And then there's just a shorter one I did about a jellyfish. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah, it certainly would.
So,
That's great. That's really good. Because it's jelly. He's done us there, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a really good poem. Can we always do that, Carl? Can we always find a day, right, and always sum it up in your thoughts, a poem, just like that? It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah. This was awesome. I'm a little upset it ended. That was awesome. That was, oh man, that was fun. That was great. I wanted more. I wanted more of the diary. More insect-related anecdotes and poems. That was just too good. Oh my god. Remember how at the beginning I said I love this guy? I love him more. It's just, oh man, so good. And it's just so natural. It's awesome. I love those people that are just naturally funny. Back when I was I'm not into it anymore because honestly, it's just the organization of the UFC as a whole just wore me down. It just went too far with being stupid. But and I used to really like MMA and stuff, but I would enjoy fight. It wasn't so much the fights that I would enjoy. I would enjoy more of the fights when I knew about the fighters. I was more interested in the fighters. So when they give you like the backstory of each fighter and they do the interviews and all the, the embeddeds and this and that, and they have like a bunch of just stuff, and you get to know the mindset of this person or that person or this fighter and stuff. And then you watch the fight. That's what I used to like. And also, well, styles, make fights. It used to be fun, and used to. If he were to fight today, I would definitely watch it. I don't know where I'd watch it, but I'd watch it. But if Nick Diaz is another just naturally funny guy like this. If he were to fight, I would watch it. He had a whole problem with his career, whatever. They kind of screwed him over. But it's just like Carl, the guy, and like the same. I'm sorry, Nick. Don't watch this. But kind of like the same IQ level, maybe. But just naturally funny. And every time he would give an interview or whatever, it just people would crack up because he's naturally funny. And he would get like really uncomfortable because obviously it ended up like being like everybody was laughing at him more than with him because he wasn't laughing. He was being totally serious. And it's just like this people that are just naturally funny, and it's just their way of being that is so entertaining, and I love it. So yeah, I can't wait to watch more. This one was so, I can't even remember what the one before was. I can't remember, but this one beat the last one, whatever that means. I can't even remember what it was. But whatever, this one was freaking awesome. I needed that. I needed these laughs today. I didn't exactly precisely have the best day ever, so this totally helped. I'm in a much better place now, so that's nice. Thank you, Carl. Anyway, guys, whatever you have to do, have a great one. If you're not in a good mood, I hope your day picks up and everything gets better and you're able to shake it off and have it better tomorrow. Anyway, guys, toodles and I'll be around.